Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and another batch of WWE 2K19 news, as I've been away in the US for the past few days with 2K to visit the WWE Performance Center and do some other cool things which I can't talk about yet, but I will have lots of news and gameplay coming up next week, so please do make sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications enabled ready. Now with that being said, in today's video we'll have a few new screenshots that were released while I was away, so let's jump back into the swing of things, starting out with our first look at 205 Live's Mustafa Ali, who makes his debut in the series this year. So this is our first look at Mustafa Ali in WWE 2K19, in which you can see that he has his Sub-Zero inspired attire that he debuted at WrestleMania 34. However, due to copyright issues, there are a few changes to the attire, as there's no light up mask included for his entrance, nor is the light up circle on his chest. In regards to his model itself, I think Mustafa looks pretty good, and it's great to see him included this year after you missed out last year, but what about his rating? Well, Mustafa Ali comes in with an overall rating of 81, which is actually a pretty high score, especially when you compare it with some of the other cruiserweights that we'll feature later in this video. Moving on, and next up we have Asuka, who's been updated with what looks to be a brand new scan, as there seems to be a big difference in her face compared with 2K18, with Asuka's attire also updated, as this one is the one that she wore back in January when she was with the Raw brand leading into the Royal Rumble. As for her rating, despite her incredible undefeated streak that ran all the way up to WrestleMania 34 and her Women's Royal Rumble win, Asuka is actually rated lower than she was in 2K18, as this year her rating is 84, 3 points lower than the 87 that she received last year. In the next screenshot, we have a proper look at the Bludgeon Brothers making their entrance, with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, whose name is actually spelled wrong, as WWE Games originally posted this screenshot and then replaced it with this one minus the ratings once people began pointing that out. As for the pairing, as you can see in the screenshot, Harper and Rowan have been updated to feature the new Bludgeon Brothers gimmick, complete with their huge hammers that they carry down to ringside, meaning there is a chance that they could be used during breakouts. However, I would imagine that they'll be inactive, as they don't tend to use them as actual weapons. As for the ratings, unlike Asuka, these two have actually gone up when compared with last year, as this year Rowan is rated 80, which is 4 higher than in 2K18, and Harper is rated 84, 2 higher than last year. Up next we'll have another newcomer this year with Sonya Deville, who you can see here is wearing an Absolution shirt underneath her entrance attire, confirming the presence of the group in the game, and likely a new trio entrance for herself, Mandy Rose and Paige. Now obviously, due to the fact that Absolution are no longer together, then this is a little bit outdated. However, given that the shirt is barely visible, then this shouldn't be too much of an issue. As for Sonya's rating, she comes in at 74, which is on par with some of the other newcomers, with Sonya slightly higher than Liv Morgan, who was rated 71, and Sarah Logan, who was rated 70. Also new this year, we'll have our first look at 205 Live's Lynnster Otto, as well as this new screenshot showing off Lynnster's entrance with a really cool close-up shot of his fist as he poses on the stage. As for his rating, Lynnster's rated 73 overall, which may be a little bit low when compared with some of the other main roster stars. Moving on though, next up we'll have a returning star, as this is our first look at Shelton Benjamin, who returns to the series for the first time since SmackDown vs Raw 2011, following his return to WWE last year. Now personally, I really like the look of Shelton in this screenshot, as I think they've captured him really well, but what about his rating? Well, Shelton comes in at 78, which I feel is a decent score, especially considering how he's being used on TV. Switching back to 205 Live, and we now have yet another new superstar joining the roster, this time with Tony Nese, as well as this new shot of Tony on the ring apron as he poses to the fans and shows off his abs. When it comes to his rating, Tony's is actually one of the lowest in the game for the male superstars, as he's rated just 70 overall. Up next we'll have one of the most popular stars in WWE, as this screenshot gives us our first glimpse of Jeff Hardy in 2K19, as we see him here posing on the turnbuckle during his entrance, in which you can see that rather disappointingly, Jeff still has the same attire as he did last year when he was DLC, with his face paint also missing. As for his rating, Jeff comes in at 84 overall, which is actually down 2 points over last year when he was rated 86, which is a bit of a surprise considering his run with the tag team titles and the US Championship. Finally, our last screenshot gives us our first look at a newly updated Randy Orton, who now features longer slicked back hair to match what we've seen on TV, with Orton also sporting this black and green RKO hoodie. Also present are what appears to be all of Orton's tattoos, despite a lot of talk about them potentially being removed due to the outstanding lawsuit between 2K and Orton's tattooist. So that's Orton's model in general, but let's talk about his rating, as he's rated 87 overall, which like Jeff is also down from last year, as he was previously rated 90 in WWE 2K18. Anyway guys, that brings us up to date with all the new screenshots released whilst I've been away, but I'd love to know what you make of them, so please do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you haven't already, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, as I'll have plenty more WWE 2K19 content coming your way next week, including exclusive brand new gameplay. So until then, all that's left for me to say is I hope you've enjoyed this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.